Chapter 2. Fortune Fleet. On that day, Sena left the Earth for the second time. That reminds me, Metodo was also with me when I first left the Earth. Sena, who was watching the monitor on the bridge, looked at Metodo, who was standing next to him with a slight look of confusion. Metodo stroked Sena's crew cut to suppress her depression over not being able to clean. Oh, that's true. Mia. He had a souvenir from Earth in a form of Metodo. Washu was also accompanying them on the way home. Fuku was excited about her mother joining the trip. As soon as Ryoko left the Earth, she transformed back into Irma and took the opportunity to speak to Washu. Captain, after a short jump, we'll escape the solar system, then we'll enter a long-distance jump. The scheduled time for the long-distance jump is 1100. That gives us plenty of time. If you don't mind, I need to borrow Sena for a moment, Washu said as she handed Fuku, who she was holding, to Metodo. Now instead of his head she had Fuku to pet. Mia. Oh no, you're just too cute. As Washu thought, both Fuku and Metodo were happy. Irma was saddened that she was being abandoned by Washu. Well then, let's go. Go. Washu motioned as she dragged Sena off with her. What? Why are you using this house? Do you have staff to fill the others' rooms already? Washu unhappily inflated her cheeks, looking at the houses. Honestly, it's a bit much. If you enter design drawings, the ship can build them in less than a day. There are already many templates, so even amateurs can easily build a house. Huh, we have such a thing? Kariko didn't mention it. Well, there's something here that was supposed to let me see. Oh! I see. Washu noticed something. I see. She never activated the Bioroid maids, did she? Washu murmured in a loud voice so that Sena could hear. Kariko sneezed. But her reasons for not doing so were natural. The Bioroid maids were anatomically and biologically correct, and pretty too. Not as pretty as the girls, but still pleasant to look at. And they would adapt and become as intelligent as any other person. Impregnation was also possible. Moreover, their AI was programmed to pick up on and predict the tastes and interests of their master and take action accordingly. They could be tsundere, yandere, whatever you liked, and had a boatload of programmed personality patterns which adapted with taste. Besides being able to build various buildings such as warehouses in the ship, Washu left a bunch of her junk in the ship, including old research experiment results. Sena could build everything from a school to an amusement park. So, the situations for dirty roleplay were infinite. Currently there were 20 maids, but there were also maintenance and mass production facilities for Bioroids, young men and women, and Bioroids of every appearance could be formed quickly. Sena could create a single man's ideal village in the ship if he wished. The law on age restriction ethics was not applicable if Sena was alone in a private closed space. He could in theory do whatever he wanted with them. Plenty of philosophers in the past had created such situations and even gotten lost in them. As such, there was even a field of study in recovering people from those kinds of addictions. That's why Kariko saw the maids here as her ultimate enemies. Oh well, I put so much work into that. I guess it can't be helped for now, she whispered to herself. Well, you'll be around for a pretty long time, and who knows, maybe you'll need that for your house when you finally come home. Washu slapped Sena on the back with a bang, and then went in through the mansion's front door. Would you like to talk now, or do you want some tea first? Washu asked as she entered the living room. She sat down on the sofa and activated a privacy wall around them. Now we'll be fine. So, what's going on, Washu? Why are you on board with us? Is there a problem with Fuku or the Kamedake? No, it's nothing like that. Washu smiled while waving that thought away at Sena, who looked uneasy. There are no problems with Fuku and the Kamedake at the moment. Of course, that depends on the upcoming operations results, but as I've said before, I can constantly monitor what's going on with sensors, so I can make upgrades from time to time, and to some extent the Kamedake is self-evolving. I heard the hull can perform automatic restoration. Irma said it had a natural healing capability. Natural healing is only restoring itself to its original state. Self-evolving lets it evolve to solve any problems that occur. That is, Fuku is capable of adaptive evolution. Originally, this ability was unique to Ryoki, but the Kamedake and Fuku are also equipped with that ability to a certain extent. This really is a ridiculously equipped ship, isn't it? Yes, however, it still needs more experience for it to work well. Well, considering the short amount of time it's been active, it's gotten quite a lot. What's that? I mean, carrying you around is no easy task. The data collected by Kamedake number 1 and Ryoki has already been input, but the first Kamedake ship was a different kind of ship. Its purpose was quite different. Even Ryoko and Ryoki's data can only be interpreted based on their actions. So, you mean we need to accumulate more data? Sort of. But you've gotten me off track. I'm here to tell you the reason why you've been called back from your vacation so soon. It seems that the damage from a mysterious fleet is rapidly increasing. 48 hours ago, Sito's ship came in contact with the mysterious fleet. Oh, so then the issue is already resolved, right? There was no such thing as a fleet that could safely encounter Sito. However, Washa shook her head to say no. It seems they were able to escape. They are currently searching, but it seems they have not found it yet. Wait, they got past Sito. That's why you were called back. Pretty soon you should get a detailed report from Sito herself. Heh. Sena sighed at the existence of more difficult enemies than expected. I had to come along because there was no opportunity to talk about this and a few other various things while we were on Earth. And there are things I didn't want to say with Tenchi around. Oh, I understand. Firstly, they want you to join the search for the mysterious fleet. But before all that, I'd like to thank you. Thank you, Sena. Washu slowly lowered her head with a serious face. No, that... What for? Sena was baffled with Washu's sincere attitude. I am thankful that you accepted what Tenchi told you. Tenchi was suffering quite a bit having to deal with that, but I think he had finally accepted it thanks to you, Sena. He thinks of you like a younger brother, and it seems that you helped settle him down quite a lot psychologically. Well, after all Tenchi-senpai has done for me, it was nothing really. Sena gazed at Washu with confusion. I could tell from Tenchi-senpai hardly staying calm about it that he needed some encouragement, that said. Honestly, there are still many parts of that story I find confusing, but I have a long time to figure those out. I don't think it will be a problem. Bioenhancement alone had given Sena a lifespan of 2,000 years. Even so, he had trouble imagining that. It must be hard for you to even imagine now, isn't it? It's embarrassing, but, well, yes, to some degree. There's nothing to be shy about. I think you meant what you said when you accepted what Tenchi told you. I'm convinced that you won't have any problems with it when the time comes. Well, I will do my best. Actually, I have some questions for you as well. There are places where in Tenchi's explanation where he left things a bit short. He was a bit mentally unstable in places, and he has many misunderstandings. So I guess, first of all, I'll ask, what questions do you have for me? Well, I'm hesitant to ask questions like this, but... Wash, you have the power of omniscience, right? Do you know of a way that I can manage my biased probability? It used to be, and it was an easy thing too. Now, however, it isn't. What, really? Sena thought about what she said. It used to be. I'm sorry, Sena Dano, but in relation to things that have to do with your fundamental existence, we no longer have a hand in them. Why is that? Currently, Sena Dano, your existence is under the influence of Tenchi Dano's power. When I try to put my hands there, I don't have the power to affect you. His power is different from the power of the Choshin. It's a thing that is beyond us, so it is impossible for us to negate its power. There is only one way. One way. So, maybe there's a chance. Tenchi himself would have to let go of his power over you. Huh, that's no good. Listening to Washu's story, Sena gave up immediately. Although I said it might have been easy before, the results may have ended up the worse for you, Sena. What? Sena, your bias of probability is a thing that has arisen from the distortion of the whole universe, not to simply you. You're not the only one. In the universe, there are many people with probability biases to various degrees. Other people like me. It's not limited to people, animals, things, places, everything is targeted. Why does such a thing exist? Whatever actions of this reality come about, there are always contradictions produced, and of course that causes distortion for the whole universe. A lot of it we made that way. We created the universe and modifying it was easy to do, but small modifications from us are not necessarily small things for those who live there. It's a bit embarrassing, but as long as Tenchi's presence exists, our foresight into the future is limited. There's now quite a bit of uncertainty that comes with everything. Washa looked at Seina's face seriously, as if she was verifying a fact. If we try to eliminate your probability bias, that distortion is very big. Well, I can't be sure, but I see. 1, maybe 2 galaxies being destroyed? Are really? I'm sorry, but Seina, your probability bias comes from a deeper root than you could ever imagine. Even if I could offset the distortion at the moment, there's something there, and as long as you exist, the distortion will accumulate. There's no way to cancel the distortion itself, just to move it to others. Move it to others? You would have to have most of your biased probability moved to someone or somewhere else. So, Seina, do you know anyone who's a big enough monster that you want them to take your place? If I could do it, I could just give it to someone random. Would you like to try that? Well, that's truly awful. I could never do such a terrible thing to anyone or anything else. No, please don't do that. Seina couldn't stomach forcing such an experience on someone else. If that was the case, he would keep his bias forever. Conversely, it was because of his bad luck that he had met Tenchi and Kiriko and all those in Masaki village. Well, okay then. On the other hand, we could lend a hand to protect you directly from the disaster that you would suffer. Is there something wrong with that? If we are involved directly, the distortion will become even bigger. I see. So the best thing is not doing anything, right? That's what you're saying, isn't it? Seina breathed a big sigh. Also, protecting you might lead to even more problems. You might lose the ability to protect yourself from absolute calamities, and then even a little thing could end up fatal if our guard isn't perfect. But if something like that happened, we could always revive you as a baby if you like. Then I would just have to deal with everything like before I left for space. Being a baby meant returning him to when he was back on Earth. There was no danger but no freedom. It meant he would lose the wings that let him go anywhere. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you after all. It's only resulted in upsetting you. No, it's fine, Seina quickly told Washu. I had to explain the truth of things to Eri once, so she would cooperate in the concealment of what happened with Tenchi from the people at the academy. I'm not sure that was a good idea. That girl is dangerous, ihihi. Certainly, for a philosopher like Eri, a subject like Seina was a subject of strong interest. Though Tenchi was even more interesting than that. Luckily, Tenchi had watchdogs who happened to be the 3 gods of creation, Tsunami, Washu, and Tokimi. There was also, of course, Kiriko and Seina, but they were far less powerful than Washu. Well, you may have been able to hide that data, but there are about to be various problems, although appearance doesn't change as much in space with age as it does on Earth. Even with bioenhancement, I'm still supposed to grow and age. If I'm going to be the same forever, I'm going to need a proper alibi. Oh no, you will grow. Tenchi, Sasami, and Ryuoki have confirmed that. But the growth and aging of other people has stopped. It's probably fixed at the age when you peak physically. Well, if it ever comes time that you need to change the appearance of your age, you can do biological remodeling or just control a new body. You already know people who have multiple bodies according to the circumstances. It's not uncommon. For example, Mikami. Oh, I see. So then, I won't be stuck in the state. It may be better to say you'll be youthful forever. You won't die of old age, but you still need to eat. Eat? Well, there are some cases where there's no need for that at all. What? As long as we live and work, energy intake is necessary. You are no exception, but think about it. If the universe is gone, how can a living body survive? If that time comes, how can you supplement the energy? We would need some kind of energy generator. Oh, I see. I don't know how that would be done. When Tenchi fought the man named Z before, he was using a force that far exceeded his energy intake. Of course, there are things that absorb energy from another dimension like the royal trees, but it did not look like that was happening. Where was the energy coming from? Where does yours come from? I don't know, we can't recognize it. Washa shook her head. It's possible. It comes from a dimension above the top dimension in which the true top god exists, so it's natural that we can't recognize it, but we have no confirmation. So, That's how we'd have to be powered, isn't it? That's right. But it's not an issue we'll have to worry about for a long while. The universe is here to stay for now. I was surprised to hear my lifespan would be 2,000 years long after doing bioenhancement, but that's even more surprising to think about. Tenchi Senpai evolving beyond omniscience gods and their knowledge is even more surprising. Well, just think of it as powering up. Tenchi is still an ordinary human being. He's normal. Sana, you've also evolved past your parents and siblings by being bioenhanced, but you're still able to be normal, right? That's what's happening to Tenchi. Oh, I see. I think I can understand it that way. Even if you're born a genius, as a baby you cannot demonstrate your abilities fully. Even after growing up, genius is pointless unless you are interested in a field that allows you to use your genius. Tenchi is not consciously able to use his power right now, but he is also not interested in using it. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. Sana said brightly, but he in that moment realized the fact that he was eternal and that meant living through the death of his immediate family. Of course, that's normal. Parents usually die first. In the case of Sana, though, it means all his friends and acquaintances, even those who got bioenhancement, he would be around even when the concept of human beings ceased to exist, along with the universe itself. However, fortunately, Sana realized Tenchi and the others would be there too, and that Tenchi had experienced the same anxiety Sana was experiencing right now. Oh! He noticed that Washu was looking at him with kind eyes. Oh, I see. Sana was reminded that Washu, who was in front of him, was a person who would also be there at that time. Her appearance was that of a girl, but her eyes seemed to draw him in deeply as if they were the universe itself. Sana felt peaceful as if his mother had embraced him. Well, regarding your biased probability, I can't do anything about it as a god, but as a philosopher, I think I may be able to find something a little useful. Well, thanks to Fuku and Kamadake, I have been spared a lot of misfortune. Other than that, no, well, Washa swallowed the words she was going to say. Perhaps this improvement in the astral sea might be proved to be a remedy against probability bias, but it is too early to make Sana expect such a thing. Unnecessary expectations could be harmful to Sana, but having hope was not a bad thing, but in Sana's case hope needed to be definite. If necessary, I'm not beyond investing more into helping you. I heard that the Kamadake doesn't have any monetary value that could match it. I can see why. It has its own universe inside it like royal ships do. They told me the Kamadake was a reward for my previous work. What sort of thing did I do to earn such a thing? It seems a bit much, haha. Well, you see, I didn't make it for you for that reason. I made it because we are family. Despite Washa being inside a secret wall, she approached Sana as if it was a secret. For me, Fuku and the Kamadake are technology that I've developed already. Even if they are troublesome to put together, they aren't difficult. The difficult problem was the material, but everything beyond that hurdle was easy. It's easy? It was amazingly simple. So, as far as it being given to you as a payment, Sana, it was really nothing of the sort. Oh! I'm sorry for making you go through all the trouble, though. I don't like bringing hardships on others. The people around you don't think that helping you is a hardship. If they thought that way about you, they never would have gotten so close to you, and on the contrary, there are many on your side who love helping you out, like me. Thank you. It's just going to take time to get used to that. At that time, Kuriko interrupted with an urgent call. That should be Sito, shall we go? Sana got back to the bridge of the Kamadake to find Minaho displayed on the monitor. A few months ago, reports on the damage caused by a mysterious pirate fleet began coming in. Originally, it was not regarded as a special problem, just normal damage, but as the reports rolled in, it became clear it was a special threat. Why? They are using probability bias. We had a ship transporting important goods secretly, no one knew about. We also had many decoy ships, but only the right one was attacked. We've put out many sting operations to find the fleet and leaked information to bait them, but none of them ever ran into them. Minaho sighed. We did an investigation. There's no evidence that the information leaked to the outside, or that they even knew of the delivery in advance in any of the deliveries intercepted. Despite this, the damage keeps racking up. We think there may be one or more people with a high probability bias in the fleet, but we aren't sure. But Minaho-sama, Seina looked in the direction of Washu, who started talking. Seto's fleet encountered this mysterious fleet, right? Well then, isn't the problem solved? Kiriko asked. Yes, we did, but they escaped. They escaped Seto's fleet? The girls were shocked. How? Ryoko said. For Ryoko, who was a space pirate, it was a great shock. Please have a look at the battle recording. Everyone was stupefied, but 3 people had odd reactions. Washa gazed at it interestingly. Beautiful, Mitoto and Fuku watched it as if it were fireworks. Minaho had on a complicated expression to these reactions. Then naturally, you sent a pursuit team, didn't you? Seina asked, keeping what Washa told him in mind. We're still searching, but there have been no reports yet. Seto, where are you? Are you too embarrassed to show your face? Washu asked and saw Minaho make a mean smile. Oh! Please forgive her, she is under the weather, Washu. At that time, a wad of paper was thrown at Minaho from outside the frame of the monitor. Minaho grabbed it after it bounced off her and fell on the floor. She spread open the paper and stiffened up. Ms. Minaho. Minaho regained her composure upon hearing Seina fearfully call out to her. She breathed a big sigh. The code name of the enemy fleet has been found. Its name is... But again, Minaho got silent. What's the name? The name is... the Fortune Fleet. Fortune Fleet. What a tacky name. I understand Minaho's reaction well. What else do you call a fleet capable of escaping Seto's Mikagami? That is a lucky fleet, don't you think? What do you think, Washu? Kiriko turned to Washu. I'm sorry, but at this time I'm just an observer. Okay. As usual, analyze the data from Minaho-sama. Forecast the escape route of the enemy lucky fleet. Ask the captain to specify the route. Kiriko said. Everyone started working as indicated. After a few minutes, the calculation of the planned route was complete, and it was displayed before Seina. They got away a long time ago. Are you sure this is worth trying? I think if we want results, we should leave it to you. Route setting completed. Captain, please. Okay. Passage setting input. Ordinary super space navigation program loading. Seina decided on the data delivered from Kiriko without hesitation. Load complete. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hyperspace navigation. The Kamadake jumped. Wahahaha. Ha 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 ha. Splendid. At the headquarters of the Daruma Guild, the Big Daruma, a few senior executives gathered and celebrated with President Daruma over the Fortune Fleet project. We handled the Devil Princess like she was nothing. Congratulations, Daruma. Here's to shifting the Fortune Fleet project to the next stage. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Until we get rid of Seina Yamada, we can't say that the Fortune Fleet project has been completed. Ha ha. Regardless, this war has been escalated. It's time to move on to the next stage. Daruma said. President, our collection of good luck items is progressing smoothly. The day when all our fleet is made into the Fortune Fleet is near. Ha ha ha. With all that luck, we won't even have to be afraid of that Seina Yamada. I have urgent news. The Fortune Fleet just encountered the Kamadake. All our ships were sunk. Those who heard the report were silent. It seemed as if everyone had frozen. No, it seemed that time had stopped. Clang. Only the clear sound and reverberation of the cup of gold that fell out of Daruma's hand was proof that time was definitely moving. Ahahaha. Ahaha. Seto was in a good mood. Nonetheless, her manner of laughter was crazed, the kind of laugh one would make against an impossible situation. Eri, Mikami, and Washu, who were presently there in front of her, had on subtle smiles. So, Washu, you saw the situation unfold. Did you notice anything? Mikami asked Washu. Even from my long experiences as a philosopher, it was a sight to behold. Although I got a lot of interesting data. But, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I genuinely doubt the data. Hey, please disclose that data as soon as possible, Washu-sama. Eri squatted down on Washu like a child would sit on a child's toy with their mother. Since I've had to verify it here, I will attach it to the report, so please wait. Ho, so what did you summon us for? We each have a different important position, right? So, I think I'll make an intermediate presentation. Seto represented Jurai. Eri, the Galaxy Academy. Mikami, the GP and Senua. And Washu the Earth and Tenchi. Despite being friends, each represented the interests of their respective organizational states and individuals. But the problem was handled by Sena. Sena had GP affiliation, but he was an Academy student, an Earthling, and also an Earth Masaki and a representative of the Royal Masakis. And it was Sito who gave permission for him to go up to space. However, since the value of use of the existence called Sena had increased so far, careful handling was necessary for his treatment. The situation of one side monopolizing him externally was dangerous. Shall I explain from the start of the encounter for now? Super spatial jump finished. We've returned to normal space. There are no enemies in range. There are no abnormalities in the hyperspace radar. I can't confirm the existence of any enemies within 10 light years. How much you want to bet that one jumps in? Sena is captain after all? That's right. Even if the space pirates are outside the scope of activity here, we should prepare for our next jump. Kiriko was interrupted. Irma cried out. Wait. Superspatial radar is reading something. What? Everyone looked at Irma. Unconfirmed ships are jumping out. Mass patterns and energy ripple collation. There's no mistake, it's an enemy fleet. Really? Truly Lorelei Sena has done it again. Get ready for battle. Kiriko raised her voice. Captain, our first priority order is the annihilation of the enemy fleet. Do we have to capture them? Sena looked at Washa hoping for an opinion on whether or not to try to capture the ships. The enemy is a high-level secret experimental fleet, and if they get caught, they will probably self-destruct and commit suicide. Washa said with a cold-hearted expression. In a moment, Sena switched consciousness and decided what to do. Okay, use the super high space for jumping and use a high-energy vibration wave at jump to trap them. I see. He used the royal ship's tactics. Why? Did the Kamedake really sink all the ships in the first fleet? Yes, but it was not an easy battle. Washu's tone was a bit heavy in contrast to Sito's. What does that mean? If you scrutinize the situation, if you look at the data, we barely made it out alive. No way. How? Mikami was shocked. What a strange fleet, to think they made Washu's ship nearly lose. Fuku's immaturity and Sena's bad luck are major causes though. This is bad. So far the Fortune fleet is unbeatable by anyone other than the Kamedake. If the Kamedake is destroyed, we're as good as doomed. So, you think they're going to focus on taking the Kamedake out? Mikami asked. To be sure, if I were Daruma, I would focus all efforts against the Kamedake. Maybe we should start our own Fortune fleet? The Fortune fleet is the result of concentrating things and people that create bias in probability. The GP side would need to possess far more lucky fleets than the attacking space pirates. It would be difficult to concentrate that much in the way of human resources and materials on the GP alone. Well, the only way we could do that is if the Galactic Federation was a dictatorship. That's why Sena is so valuable. He is our only hope. He truly is. For us, Sena is our lucky fleet. Sito said with great relief. Thinking that way, Sena may well be lucky after all, don't you think? The good luck is only for others. For Sena, the encounter with the Fortune fleet is only unlucky. So, you're worried about it being seen as us using him? No doubt that will be a big issue, knowing Kiriko. Are you afraid she will get involved? With his luck she will, and they will all end up hurt. So should we add people in their place? Sena's probability has some factors that affect it. Mikami was eager to hear that. Sito smiled. There are people who correct his probability bias like Kiriko and the others. Not only that, but combinations of them can shift it in the other direction. Why, I don't know, but do you think we can use that? I think we need to verify how much it can be done first. Ahaha, I was wondering how long it would take you to do such a thing. By the way, one thing is for certain, and that is that Eri increases the bad luck Sena encounters. And that's not through any wild phenomena. I heard that poor little Sena made a complaint about Eri to Yosho Ohoho. I don't know why he would do such a thing. I've got a plan. Why don't we give them a reward by giving them all a great vacation? Sito said as she smiled. Damn it. Envy popped out from the transport entrance used for delivering meals and rolled under Sena as he waited in the waiting room of Eri's secret lab like a gashapon. What the hell is this thing doing here? Amain looked upset. Kariko closed her eyes with confusion. Mayat. Fuku rushed to Envy and kicked it away. Hey, watch it. Eri was operating Envy with a joystick-type controller as if she was playing a fighting game. It's only natural that she's trying to defend Sena. You deserve it. Hey, Washa-chan, shouldn't you make it so Kerchi can override her? Well, I think it's good training for Fuku, don't you? You're a terrible mother. Sito sympathized with Fuku and looked up to the heavens. You don't understand a mother's love. It's so wonderful watching my daughter trying to protect Sena. Don't you think so? Well, I guess you're right. Sito still felt sympathetic. Either way, we should probably do something about her. Thus, Eri was given a vacation of her own. Want a vacation? Mikami called to tell them. Are you serious? The eyes of the women shined brightly. It's still off-season. Just think of it as a thank you from Sito. Wait, this is a stay on that luxury island. What? Ho ho. Yes, you can bring up to 20 people, so invite your friends. The vacation will be 2 weeks long. Be sure to check into the main satellite station orbiting MUM first. 2 whole weeks? As an apology for ruining Sena's vacation. Please go as soon as the Kamidake's maintenance is over. Roger that. Amain saluted. Mikami smiled wryly. She saluted back and cut communication. Ah yeah. Amain cheered. 20 people. Does Fuku count? Whoa, say Sena, are you going to take someone other than us? Oh, my teammates were really eager to go to a MUM. Hey, what's that face for? Is something wrong? Well, no, there's no problem. Please invite them. Kariko pushed down Amain, who looked like she was angry. Hey, Kariko. What's the big idea? I don't know what you're thinking, but Sena is still a minor. It's just a normal vacation. Wait a moment. But over there are privacy walls, there's no problem. So, if it's just Sena's teammates, why would you have a problem with him bringing his friends? On the contrary, I'm not worried about Sena. I'm worried about bringing those other boys to that island. Well, but... Oh! Everyone said to Irma's voice, drop it you two. It's Sena's vacation, let him bring his friend. Sena, is there anyone else you would like to bring? Sena thought a bit and remembered Mickey and her teammates, but Sena shook his head a little and erased that memory. That would be too difficult an invitation. I got nothing. Well, how about Hakuran's group? Oh, that would be nice. Then who else? We still have 10 spots left? Kariko, don't you have any family you can bring? Oh, what about Tenchi? Well, that's nice of you. But I'm sorry I can't. Thank you for the invite. Please have fun with everyone. Tenchi said as he quickly hung up. I'm sorry to say that would be impossible. Minaho displayed on another monitor later. I'll go. Eri butted in behind her. Haha, that's funny. You're going to see Tenchi. Minaho said. Sorry, but I'm going to be busy. Tenchi said he would be busy with field work. He can't be away from the house for 2 weeks. Oh, right. It's summer on the Earth. It can't be helped. Let's just go with the Kamidake staff this time. Kariko said. Oh, what about Tenio? Fine. I will ask Tenio. But no one else was available. Sito and Washi were still there, but Eri and Mikami had left. That's because they didn't want the others to know what they were talking about. Is it true that Tarrant is alive, and they found him? As I suspected, the power source of his ship was a replica of my jewels. If that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have been so lucky, or hard to find. Indeed. It's amazing he's even alive. When the Deadless was destroyed, the defense instinct that had been programmed in the jewel replica was activated, and it escaped with Tarrant. That being the case, the things surrounding the replica must have been completely destroyed. Washu displayed a monitor with coordinates before Sito. I don't think this is Tarrant's base. It's not in any of the predicted coordinate ranges. Then it must be the Big Daruma. Do you think you can find its location from the energy output by the gem? No, it's a low-power knockoff even for a replica. To detect it, it would have to be in one place for over 900 hours. And the big Daruma is always moving. That's unfortunate. Well, my report is complete. I leave the rest to you. Sito. Washa got up and left. Shortly after Sena was released from Eri's secret laboratory, they gathered in a briefing room. An image of a muum was displayed. The official name is Jurai Resource Planet Number 17, commonly known as a muum. It's a popular vacation resort too. It's mostly an aquatic planet. We will be staying on the main island. Why do they even call that the main island? It was a small sandy island, only about 20 meters, where lots of trees grew. That's the main island? From that picture, Sena instantly judged it to be a dangerous place. That's a huge tree. The tree growing from the island seemed to be a broadleaf tree from the earth. It didn't seem native to the area. Moreover, the tree had a tree house built in it. Actually, it's native. It evolved from the seaweed on the planet. From seaweed? These trees take in water and absorb the salts and minerals and make fresh water. Wow! How unusual. Doesn't the salt hurt the plant? I don't know how it works on the earth, but Muum and Jurai have a lot of plants that use salt as a nutrient, so it actually eats the salt and outputs the excess water as waste. Kenneth said Muum was like a special paradise. But it's not that great looking. I mean, it's a beautiful place, but the island can only fit a few people on it, so it's surprisingly difficult to get tickets to go there. Did Kenneth get a fake ticket? Yeah. As usual, he was being kind of stupid. Well, it's hard to visit, and so there are some odd rumors about it. Later on, Amain talked with Kariko. But Kariko, you know why it has those rumors, don't you? They say the water discharged from that tree and the aroma components contained in the sap act on the body and mind, giving visitors a relaxing effect and a feeling of euphoria.